Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a Long Song Saturday. And for this Long Song Saturday, welcome everyone. Hope you're having a lovely one out there. If it's your first time watching the channel, please don't make it your last time. And if it's your last time watching the channel, thank you so much for being here, because for this Long Song Saturday that we are doing today, we're going to listen to the full album. The full album, it just went away. Sorry, I'm typing it in as I go. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, Iron Maiden. This is their seventh. That's actually really funny. This is their seventh studio album released in 1988. Would have been funny if it was released in 1987, but listen, maybe they couldn't rush it out quick enough. Either way, I'm really excited to dive into this one. We've listened to a decent amount of I almost said Black Sabbath, but Iron Maiden here on the channel. And we last listened to Number of the Beast, and now we're going to go ahead and listen to this album. This particular album has been suggested, I believe, I have all your names here, but suggested by Stephen Dennis, Cosmic Cat, Manhattan Man, Sam Stevenson, William Thompson, Patrick McGrath, Ghost Sound, Monsieur Lahey rather, Jimmy R. Jump, Kelly Nilsson, Hey Skip, Carl Gibbons. The list is going, this is a long list, guys. This is a long list. Ghost Sound, Tyler Mocha, Simon, Lennis Photograph, Joe Marone. Anyways, a lot of you. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for suggesting the album to me. So yeah, we're going to dive on in. I'm not going to make too long of an intro or anything like that, but I do want to get the plugs out the way. Let's go ahead and get the plugs out the way. First of all, press the like button. Just get it out the way. Second of all, if you feel so inclined, press the share button. Share the video on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Tinder. If you feel even more so inclined, you can support the channel and what I do for as little as $2 a month. You do not have to at all, but you can. $2 a month. Even if you do it 1 month, goes a long way. But this video, even if it's blocked or anything like that, you can access it for free on Patreon. You just have to sign up and make a free account. You don't need to pay anything. Just throwing that out there. And my last plug, I got one more. I wish I had like a wire I could one last plug. If you're interested as well, I have a gaming channel. The gaming channel has been in existence for years, but I've recently started it back up in the last few months, and it would help a lot if you just go and check out like one video or something. Like if you're like, hey, I see what he's doing with music. I wonder what he does. You could do that. That'd be cool. That'd be nice. Anyways, that's the intro, everyone. Sincerely hope you're having a lovely one. Let me know in the comments what you're eating or what you're drinking, what you're snacking on as we're about to go and embark in this journey. Starting off, of course, with the first song here, which is going to be Moonchild. I'm assuming of no relation to King Crimson. Now, as always, this sip of nicely filtered water, this is for you. Let's dive into it.
7 deadly sins, 7 ways to win.
In here, huh? Like synth strings?
Hear the midnight scream out. Is this night? Gemini is rising. You're back for forgiveness and none I'll give.
If you needed anything to get you up in the morning, put the coffee away, push the tea away from you, just put on some Seventh Son of a Seventh Son of a Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and you will be up and at 'em, ready to go, whatever you're doing. What a great kickoff to the album. Opening up with an epic synth line that just starts weaving through. I'm not gonna lie. Don't crucify me. It was just, I was thinking of Journey when the synth line started. But then quickly, that was thrown away, and we got onto a journey of epic proportions as, of course, the guitar begins to come in, the hits begin to come in, and from there, we move into the very familiar waters of the rambling thrash that we know of with Iron Maiden. And it sounds absolutely wonderful. I love how that builds up. I like how we get into their particular movement, that gallop that they have. I love how they have a particularly melodic, in my way, a melodic form of thrash. It's very catchy, the chorus here. I can't sing the way that Bruce does, but Bruce does what Bruce does, and he does it very well. I love how he sounds here. In the beginning, he kind of had this, I don't want to say a growl, because it wasn't necessarily that deep or that guttural, but he did have a little bit of a snarl, perhaps, in his yelling and in his singing, which I really enjoyed how that came with this kind of abrasiveness in the music before, the first chorus came in. It was kind of smoothed it out a little bit. That was really fantastic. I really am enjoying the bass line behind everything. And in here, you can very clearly hear it behind the guitars. Is it doubling up in some ways on what the guitars are doing? For sure. But it doesn't nonetheless take away from its role as providing this powerful rhythmic spine, this sort of depth and thickness behind the guitars, kind of adding an extra layer of, like I said, that depth to it, which just helps push everything along. It sounds so strong behind the guitars. It's like this strong backhand, like a strong backhand behind the guitars, which is just pushing everything forward, which I really enjoyed. The guitar solos sounded great. I like how we got 2 solos, one that kind of played off of the riff from previously and just kind of set us up in a certain way. And the second the second guitar solo kind of went off and gave us the more faster notes without, being overly exaggerated. It was just a really, really nice way they played off of each other. And then the ending, of course, kind of brings things to a close. This was a really fantastic way to open the album, I would say. Now, diving into the lyrics. Is this the seventh child? Is this like an Antichrist situation? A little bit of a Damien situation, perhaps? 7 deadly sins, 7 ways to win, 7 holy paths to hell, and your trip begins. 7 downward slopes, 7 bloodied hopes, 7 are your burning fires, 7 your desires. Now, did he say this 7 times? Oh, I didn't mean to click that. 7, 7, 7. He said 7 times.
Please clap.
Listen, I have to throw out a huge shout out to Miss Michelle in high school. She was my teacher, my literature teacher. We went in depth with poetry, meter, reading into things. Listen, when I see repeated numbers in numerology, I'm looking for the 7s. I am he, the bornless one, the fallen angel watching you. Babylon, the scarlet whore, I'll infiltrate your gratitude. Don't you dare to save your son, kill him now and save the young ones. Be the mother of a birth-strangled babe, be the devil's own, Lucifer's my name. I feel like, okay, I don't know yet, because we got a lot to look into. Moonchild, Hear the Maiden Scream, Moonchild, Open the 7th Seal. I feel like this is basically, an Antichrist situation, but maybe, the devil is approaching this lady don't save your own son or child. I'm going to give you a child, basically, right? Now, I don't know much about the Mandrake Scream, but my favorite movie of all time is Pan's Labyrinth. And in that movie, oh gosh, I just said it's my favorite movie and I'm going to miss some of the details. She had brought a mandrake and put it under her mother's bed to help, was it to help her give birth at that time? I think so. It was to help her, I think. So maybe that, I don't know. I don't know the mythology behind mandrakes, but I feel like it's something like that. Something birth related or baby related. I count the heads of those unborn, the accursed ones, I find them all. And if you die by your own hand, as a suicide, you shall be damned. If you try to save your soul, I will torment you. You shall not grow old. Don't try to, listen, you're making a deal with the devil. Don't try and work around it, right? If you try to do this, hey, I got you. If you try to do this, I got you. With every second and passing breath, you'll be so alone, your soul will beat to death. The twins, they are exhausted. 7, remember the twins in The Witch? That's a good movie. I almost wore my witch shirt, but I guess in a way I am witch. Gemini is rising as the red lips kiss to bite. 7 angels, 7 demons battle for his soul. When Gabriel lies sleeping, this child was born to die. There's no angelic protection. 1 more dies, 1 more lives, 1 baby cries, 1 mother grieves. For all the sins you will commit, you'll beg forgiveness, and none I'll give. A web of fear shall be your coat to clothe you in the night. A lucky escape for you, young man, but I'll see you damned in endless night. I do believe that this is a concept album. Let's look at that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. A concept inspired by the novel Seventh Son by Orson Scott Card. The record incorporates elements of progressive rock. I don't care about that. I want to know what the story's about. Before I dive in any further, I want to know what the concept is, at least to an extent. The idea to base the album around the folklore concept came to the bassist Steve Harris after he read the book. Says, it was our 7th studio album and I didn't have a title for it or any ideas. Then I read this story, this mystical figure that was supposed to have all these paranormal gifts, like second sight and what have you. And it was more, at first, that it was a good title for the album. Then I rang Bruce and started talking to him about it, and the idea just grew from there. So, is this a... devil, sure, but isn't there a name for a mythological figure that brings you gifts, but it's like a monkey's paw situation? You're gonna get a gift, but there's a little bit of a something to it. Is that Mephistopheles? You guys know who I'm talking about. I was just trying to see if there was specifically a concept or a story that I should follow, but I'm not seeing it necessarily here. All right. Well, for now, we'll go ahead and move on into the next track. Why not? Maybe we'll figure it out as we go. So the next track here, Infinite Dreams. It's like Inception. A dream within a dream within a dream. I think that's one of the coolest things. If you guys like have lucid dreams and like all that kind of stuff, like you go into a dream and then you wake up, but you're still in a dream. Then you wake up and you're still in a dream. Ah! That's a vibe. Different, and now that we're getting some more shred-tastic stuff. I really hate speaking too soon when it's just the second track on the album, but already it's a standout. This, to me, is a great gateway and entry point if you were trying to get someone, like a friend, into metal, and I think that this would be a great point of entry. This is melodic, it's catchy once again, fantastic singing, like really enjoyed all the performances here, but Bruce is just on another level. I really enjoy the way he sounds here. As a side note, it's been a long time since I listened to this album, but for some reason some of the singing here from Bruce reminded me of Queensryche with Operation Mindcrime. When I was in like early college, I used to listen to that album all the time. Anyways, I don't remember the guy's name, the singer, but just kind of reminded me. Anyways, the guitar performances are out of this world. I love the little keyboard atmosphere that's behind it that you hear clearly at the end when everything dropped out, but you hear it throughout the track as well, just underneath. Is it Steve Harris on the bass, if I remember correctly? Yeah, Steve Harris on the bass. I am really enjoying the melody that he brings in here. Unlike, some of the thrashier moments where, like I said, it's more doubled up and just a extra spine behind the music and an extra backbone behind the music. Here, he's really like coming into his own. I don't mean coming into his own like, for 7 albums he hasn't or however long he's been here. But like you hear him so influential in the rhythm and the cadence of the music behind it all. And I just really enjoyed how he plays alongside of the two guitarists. And speaking of the two guitarists, that first guitar solo, I mentioned it during the track, but if you're listening to the drumming from Nico, if you listen to the drum from Nick, and specifically the kick drum, the beat that he puts down, and then listen to the way that the guitars are accentuated by that, it's a really nice relationship when it comes to those two elements, that they just come together very well. And then on the back half, you get 2 other solos behind everything from Murray and Smith. And I just always imagine both of them on the stage having this great time up there, dueling guitars. When it's their time to solo, they're just like, like when they like when the guitars in the show, like they come up to like the other one, they're like doing all that, and the other one's like on the other side, and then sometimes like one of the guitarists will like finger the other guitarist. Like I just think that's really cool. Like that's I just always think that's kind of cool how they do that. Anyways, it's a really good song, and I like the guitars in the beginning of the song because, like I said, unlike the previous track, well, actually perfectly coming off the previous track, it kind of gives us a little bit of a lighter mood before it kind of goes back into the things that we expect. And even when it does, I really like that rhythmic change that happens at the beginning. There's at least 2 rhythm changes in here, from that mellow beginning into the verse, and then from the verse into the gallopy section of the music. I think that sounds really wonderful. This is a great track here. Infinite dreams, I can't deny them. Infinity is hard to comprehend. I couldn't hear those screams even in my wildest dreams. Suffocation, waking in a sweat. Scared to fall asleep again in case the dream begins again. You ever have a nightmare and you wake up and of course you're frightened, and it was so bad that you don't even want to go back to sleep because if you go back to sleep you'll probably enter the door right back into that nightmare. Someone's chasing, I cannot move, you got sleep paralysis. Standing rigid, a nightmare statue. What a dream, when will it end? Will I transcend? Restless sleep, the mind's in turmoil. One nightmare ends, another fertile. It's getting me so scared to sleep, but scared to wake now in too deep. I like that. The line of he's so scared to sleep, but now, because he knows he's in this infinite dream of whatever sort it is, he's so in deep, he's so in that he's scared to even wake up. What if what he wakes into is worse than what he was dreaming? Even though it's reached new heights, I rather like the restless nights. It makes me wonder, it makes me think there's more to this. I'm on the brink. It's not the fear of what's beyond, it's just that I might not respond. But I have an interest, almost craving, but would I like to get too far in? Like, beyond all this fear, there's also a little bit of curiosity. There is a little bit of skittish interest. It can't be all coincidence. Too many things are evident. You tell me you're an unbeliever spiritualist. Well, me, I'm neither. Wouldn't you like to know the truth of what's out there, to have the proof, and just to find out which side you're on? Where would you end, in heaven or hell? He's like, I don't believe in anything, but once again, that curiosity. And right now, he is the proverbial cat. Help me to find my true self without seeing the future. Save me from torturing myself even within my dreams. There's got to be more to it than this. Or tell me, why do we exist? I'd like to think that when I die, I get a chance another time, then to return and live again, reincarnate, play the game again and again and again. So maybe this dream that he's talking about, as he says in the end, maybe the dream is just life and reincarnation. Like he says, he would like the chance. I mean, you know, he's has no belief one way or another. So, but at the same time, he's curious and he would like to play the game again. He would like to play the game of life again. So perhaps that is what this infinite dream is that he's talking about. I think there was a Wikipedia article for this one. Yep, and the next few tracks as well. Says it's a live single released in 1989. Okay. The only single to be released in sync with a home video. The performance was recorded in Birmingham, England in 1988 towards the end of a massive tour. It was the band's final single to feature the Trooper era lineup for an entire decade. All right. Let's see. The song's about a character sees disturbing visions about afterlife and other things, but is too scared about if he'll ever be able to wake up again. Says Steve Harris explained, I do have nightmares, but usually only when we're writing an album. Then your mind just gets so overactive with all these ideas flying around inside, and it's difficult to sleep. That's what Infinite Dreams is about. Just all these dreams and stuff going on in your mind, just a whirlwind of things. And there's a lot of different versions here. And here's the chart performance as well. You know, it'd be really funny if it charted at 7. It was so close. You got a 6, and then you got an 11. you were so close though. So close. If it charted at 11, that's good. That's good stuff. Let's go ahead and move on into the next track here, which is going to be Can I Play with Madness? Here we go.
Can I play with madness? To know I can be me. Give me the strength. I say you'll pay for this mischief. On the throne of the next.
Okay, all of you Iron Maiden fans that are watching, I want you get in here for just a moment. So first of all, that break, oh, so good. When the break happened and Steve Harris is leading you out the gate, oh, that's a great moment right there. With the guitar playing, the slightly slower rhythm and how it all opens up right there is really nice. I love that guitar riff, like coming in and out. And then the song as a whole has a really great movement. You know, but tell me, be honest with me. I actually didn't care for this one as much. I didn't really like this song. And I was trying to figure out why I didn't enjoy it. That's always what I try to do, you know, get into the heart of the matter. What didn't I like about it? And I think the chorus sounded very like almost, to me, it was almost like a cheesy 80s kind of rock chorus. I don't know, it just didn't work for me. The synth underneath in this case kind of came across a little cheesy, a little grated Parmesan on this one. And then, I mean, that was the big part of it. And before it got to that break, which I really did love, that I did love out of this whole song. Before that, it just kind of, it sounded like so radio friendly and almost like there wasn't any edge in there. And I'm not saying like Iron Maiden always has to play like heavy metal and like be heavy, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I wouldn't say the last two tracks were overly heavy or anything like that. But this one just felt like it was missing an edge and just kind of felt like a little bit of RF, a little bit of radio fodder. You know, this one sounded a little bit more appealing to the masses rather than, I don't know, what I kind of like out of them. But that break and the guitar solo, like that, I don't know, that 45 seconds right there, that was a great moment there. Let's look at the information on this one. Let's look at the lyrics first. I do see that it was the first single here as well. We'll look at it a little later. Give me the sense to wonder if I'm free. Give me the sense to wonder, know if I can be me. Give me the strength to hold up my head, spit back in their face. Don't need no key to unlock this door. Gonna break down the walls, break out of this bad place. And I guess, like, okay, the reason I had asked, like, the Iron Maiden fans is because this doesn't sound like, I don't know, this doesn't sound like a great track from the band, especially compared from the last two that we just heard. Yes, you can definitely hear a different sense of direction on this album so far compared to at least what I know listening to Number of the Beast. But, like, those two tracks, the first two, have quality. Like, there's something to it. There's progression to it. This kind of sounds like of its time, I suppose. Maybe that's what I'm getting at. Can I play with madness? The prophet stared at his crystal ball. Can I play with madness? There's no visions there at all. The prophet looked at me and laughed at me. He said, you're blind, too blind to see. I screamed aloud to the old man. I said, don't lie. Don't say you don't know. I said, you'll pay for this mischief in this world or the next. Oh, and then he fixed me with a freezing glance and the hellfires raged in his eyes. He said, you want to know the truth, son? Your soul's going to burn in a lake of fire. He said, listen, you said, do you want to play with madness? So you're playing the game. You're playing the game. And you didn't like the answer you got? Well, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day,
You lose. Good day, sir.
See you later. That's basically what the prophet said. He's laughing at you, staring at his crystal ball. He's saying you're too blind to see. Let's see the Wikipedia page on this one. It says it hit number 3 on the UK singles chart. Song is about a young man who wants to learn from an old prophet, probably named Tiresias. The young man thinks he's going mad and seeks the old prophet to help him cope. The prophet's advice is ignored, and they become angry at each other. It says the song was originally a ballad named On the Wings of Angels. Which, you know what? That has the same, does it have the same amount of synonyms? On the wings of angel or eagles. There you go. So you can definitely hear how that would, fit into the actual song title. So that was, let's see, that was the, that information here. Plaque, Bart Views. I don't even know what that is. A song that appears on the B-side of it. Okay. Let's see. What's the chart information on this? A lot of chart information on this. Australia 58. Any 7s in here? Can I get a 7? No 7s. No 7s to be found on this one. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next track. And that is going to end this particular side of the album. And that's going to be The Evil That Men Do. Here we go. That's a thrasher. Listen, sometimes the train comes off the rails a little bit, and every once in a while you got to bring the train back on the rails. And now we've arrived at the end of this particular station with The Evil That Men Do. Now that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for from Iron Maiden. Bruce once again just sounding like a soaring eagle. Like, I love the diversity in his voice as he's singing, and how he adds character into the music. Like in the verse, like he's in the first half, he kind of sings a little bit more snarly, sneakily, not quiet, but just a little lower. Kind of adding a little bit of like a muttering utterance to it. Then in the second half of the verse, he kind of not explodes quite there, but he opens up just a little bit more. But by the chorus, when it's catchy, powerful, epic, and soaring and just drilled into your ear, that's when like that's when he like flies off. And it sounds really, really wonderful. Nico on the drums, I really enjoy the way that he plays the drums. He's kind of mastered that particular gallop that I would say that Iron Maiden is probably known for, that bump-a-da-bump-a-da-bump-a-da-bump-a-da-bump-a-da-bump, or a variation of thereof. What it's just, it pushes and it moves. It has a certain momentum to it, the way that he plays, which of course the rest of the band immediately jumps on. That's a wonderful track. That hits a lot of great notes with a lot of great hits in there. And that's a really nice way to end this particular side of the album. Let's look at the lyrics here. Love is a razor and I walked the line. On that silver blade slept in the dust with his daughter, eyes red with the slaughter of innocents. And I will pray for her. I will call her name out loud. I would bleed for her if I could only see her now. Living on the razor's edge, balancing on a ledge, the evil that men do lives on and on. Circle of fire, my baptism of joy. At the end, it seems, the seventh lamb slain. The book of life opens before me, and I pray for you. Someday I may return. Don't you cry for me. Beyond is where I learn. I got to tell you, I actually now I'm lost in the story. Now I'm lost in the story, and I actually am not sure what's happening. Let me look at. Let's look at. I think there's a Wikipedia article. Let's see if. There you go. Let's do one of these here. Let's see. It's debuted at number 6. Close, and quickly rose to number 5. Let's see. The title of the song is taken from Marcus Antonius' speech while addressing the crowd of Romans after Caesar's murder. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. That's a good line. I like that line. May sometimes repeat this before playing the song, the guitar solo. Yeah, but what about the lyrics? I guess we could read this, huh? The actual theme of the song doesn't have anything to do with the play, however. The lyrics continue the album story about the seventh son of a seventh son who is about to be born. Both God, the good, and Satan, the bad, want to have control over the child, who will one day possess great powers. Is that what this is about? Circle of fire, so that'd be the devil. Baptism of joy, maybe that's the God, okay. At the end it seems the seven lamb slain. Book of life opens before me. So maybe the daughter that's dying, slaughter the innocents, maybe that's the mother of the child, the seventh son of the seventh son. Is that what this is? Maybe. I'm not quite sure. The album's gotten back on track with this song, but I'm now off track with this one. Either way, that's the first side of the album. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Now we're moving on to the second side, starting off with the title track of the album. And this one's almost 10 minutes long. You know we're about to settle in for this one. However, listen, at the halfway point, I like to find out, if you're still watching, like, are you interested? Do you like what's happening? And just a little something. So I'm just gonna plug one more time. Like, if you're interested, I got a gaming channel over here. Like, there's some cool stuff you can look at and stuff. Like, I don't know, go check it out. Maybe you're interested, maybe not, but it'd just be cool. Go check it out. All right, seventh son of a seventh son of a seventh son of a seventh son. I give it a 7 out of 7. I say it every single time, and a lot of you already know what I'm going to say. It's the title track. It's the title track. It has to stand up. This is the band making a statement. This is, a lot of times, the artistic statement of the whole album is confined and summed up in the title track. You got it. You got more than the whole statement. You got a paragraph. You got an essay with the bread, meat, and the bread. That's very clearly one of Iron Maiden's best songs. There's no need to exaggerate, no hyperbole intended. That's clearly one of their best songs. There's not a misfire in it. There's not a criticism to be found in it. So far, it's the best song on the album. At 10 minutes long, it better measure up. It has to be worth that duration. You can get a lot done in 10 minutes, a lot done, and they get it all done. I don't even know where to start. It's just a really fantastic track. The synth work in here makes sense. It provides a nice, almost symphonic touch to the music without having, of course, an orchestra involved. The chorus and the repeated line, a mantra of sorts and chants of sorts, seventh son of a seventh son. It's so catchy. And I like how it's repeated, many times, probably 7 times actually, if I look at it. Come out here with me. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They missed an opportunity there. We'll allow it. They missed an opportunity on that one, but it's okay. I like how when Bruce sings every single line there, he changes the intonation just a little bit. Like, he doesn't repeat it exactly. I can't say or sing exactly how he does it, but he's like, seventh son of a seventh son, seventh son of a seventh son. Okay, not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, he changes something along each line, which I like how that keeps it from coming across overly stagnant with such a repeated line over in the chorus. The section where the music stops, sorry, I thought my recording stopped. The section where the music stops allows for, I don't know, what I imagine as like the high priest of the temple or whatever comes in and says like, this is the seventh son. He's, has these gifts. He's going to do this, this, and this. And I love how the ambience happens there. And then from there, the music builds on that again and probably gets into what I would consider at this point their most progressive section, with the guitar riff and the solos after it, the back and forth. Did you guys see that? I went the back and forth, but my hand was so close I kind of hit myself. The back and forth in there. That riff was absolutely shark-like. I don't know. There's something shark-ish about the movement of the riff on that backhand. This just had everything. The O's from Bruce, when he was holding those O's for so long before the chorus comes in, are very impressive. I can imagine during a live concert, the audience chanting along with the chorus, seventh son of a seventh son, and like, this is just a 7 out of 7 track. I think that this is a perfect track on the album, and the best one on the album so far. Here they stand, brothers them all the sons divided they'd fall. Here await the birth of the son, the seventh, the heavenly, the chosen one. Here the birth from an unbroken line born, the healer, the seventh this time, unknowingly blessed in his life as his life unfolds, slowly unveiling the power he holds, seventh son of a seventh son. Then they watch the progress he makes, the good, the evil, which path will he take? Both of them trying to manipulate the use of his powers before it's too late. I haven't finished the show, but it reminds me in some ways of Good Omens, which was like the Antichrist was born, and then there's an angel and a devil working together, but they're trying to, oh god, it's been a while since I've watched it, but like they're watching how he turns out, like will he fall to his devilish ways, or, can we teach him basically to be a good person? So it kind of has a somewhat of a similar idea there. And then here's the announcement, I guess, if you will. To me, this was like the Lion King when Simba's born. And this is Rafiki's part. Today is born the seventh one, born of woman, the seventh son, and he in turn is of a seventh son. He has the power to heal. He has the gift of second sight. He's the chosen one. Shall it be written? It shall be done. And so there you go. He's here. He's out in the world. He has the power to heal. Now, will he use that power to heal? He has the gift of second sight. Will he use it for good? At this point, I presume we can only imagine, and we'll find out shortly where it goes from here. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next track, which is The Prophecy. Here we go. Resolution here. I really like how this song follows the previous track, coming off of this birth. Now we're getting into, I guess, the first, real life event of the seventh son. And I like how the perspective changes as well. So before we were following, all these other people and whatever. And now we're moving on into the actual life of the seventh son. And now we're getting a nice perspective change from his point of view. I love how Murray and Smith, I haven't talked a ton about their guitars, but a lot of times they kind of speak for themselves. But I really like how, for example, in this song, it takes a little bit of a medieval troubadour-ish kind of approach. Obviously heard in the end, but even in the beginning, and even when it moved into the riffs, it kind of still kept an element of that sound. So I really like how they translated that from, the acoustic, as you heard, into the electric and the distorted and the heavy and the metal. I think that it just worked really well. I also really like the rhythm changes in this track. At one point, it sounded like the time signature change from the typical 4/4 to like a 12/4 or something. I don't know. It changed into something else, which was really cool. And I've liked that throughout the album and throughout listening to Iron Maiden when they do that, when they change their tempo, rather. But here it was done at just the perfect times. It happened often, but not too much. And it kept it exciting. It kept it engaging to listen to, besides the obvious things, which are already engaging. And I really like how there's almost a pleaful cry that's being spoken about here in the lyrics. And let's see. Now that I know that the right time has come, my prediction will surely be true. The impending disaster it looms, and the whole of the village is doomed. Why won't you listen to me? Is it so hard to understand that I am the real seventh son? Your life or death depends on me. So he's, using his gift of second sight. He's seen this village that's going to be destroyed. And he's like, hey, y'all got to bounce. And everyone's like, nah, I don't think so. Suffering and pain, impending disaster, souls crying, the devil's laughter. I heard the cry of the seven whistlers. Lucifer smiles, looks on, and waits. So I feel like at this point, perhaps, the seventh son is turning to his good side. He's trying to save this village. He's doing his best, but they're not listening to him. And so they're going to die. And that's why it says Lucifer smiles. He's like, sorry, see, you failed. You tried to be good and you're failing. So may as well come over to the bad side, kind of thing. Like a Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Palpatine kind of thing. I'll take your life in my hands, your fate, your fortunes in my vision. Heed what I say and you'll see what will be. Please listen to me. And even the way that Bruce is singing there, he does have a little bit of that plea in the way he's singing. Now that they see the disaster is done, now they put all the blame onto me. Isn't that a kick? Like, I told you. And now they're trying to blame me. They feel I brought on a curse. Don't they know that the torment, it stays with me, knowing that I walk alone? Through the eyes of the future I see, they don't even know what fear is. Don't they know I'm the one who is cursed? Like, y'all are blaming me, but, don't you know, what I go through? And I'm trying to do my best to, help y'all out, but I'm grateful, to be honest. Let's move on to the next track. Ungrateful. That's why your village is burned down or whatever happened. Next track, The Clairvoyant. Here we go. Harris on it, huh? That's exactly why. Nice rolls on the drums. He's getting too powerful now. Their solos feel so light.
But isn't it strange that as soon as you're born, you die?
I love the little bit of a, maybe not twist, but kind of pseudo twist that happens in the track with one particular line, which we'll get to. The beginning definitely shows why there's two guitars in Iron Maiden. If you didn't get any of that before, the beginning shows it. One, I can't tell you who, but one of them going in the back with a little bit of a riff, and the other playing something a little bit more anthemic on top of it. Harris providing that bass line throughout, and then it gets into the song. You can get a more bare feel of what they bring into the music in that moment. And then, you can kind of hear it now, if you didn't hear it before, a little bit more in depth as you listen to the other tracks there. I think that was a great start off. I love, once again, those rhythmic changes as it goes to the and then it's one of my favorite patterns just when they, hit that kind of snare. The it's just so, to me, ravenous and rapid. It's really heavy, that particular rhythm. Just the snare being that on point. It's so funny. Because you know what I just thought of? A lot of times, you guys watch my reactions because you want to know, what I think of the song. Yeah, that's fun. But a lot of times also, it reveals something for me personally. Why do I like this? Don't laugh, but this is just, where my mind goes. And I'm learning about myself. That particular pattern. Let me do it again. It's a similar pattern to the Pokemon battle music from the originals. Okay. All right. I'm just making the dots connect. I'm just putting I got the board up here and I'm just drawing the lines up there. Anyways, otherwise, really, really, once again, a really fantastic song. And I really like the lyrics and how the story's going. And you know, the lyrics are kind of like, and the story, I should say, is kind of leading me curious as like how this is going to end, which we'll find out very soon. Feel the sweat break on my brow. Is it me or is it the shadows that are dancing on the walls? Is this a dream or is it now? Is this a vision or normality I see? He's getting so powerful and so into himself. Not into himself like narcissistic, but he's just becoming so overwhelmed by the powers that he doesn't even know if he's seeing the future or if he's in the present. Which is kind of funny because that relates back to a previous track with Infinite Dreams. Am I awake or am I dreaming? Now that, please clap. That's a connection. Hand claps in chat. I wonder why. I wonder how that. It seems that the power is getting stronger every day. I feel a strength and inner fire, but I'm scared I won't be able to control it. There's a time to live and a time to die. When it's time to meet the Maker, there's a time to live. But isn't it strange that as soon as you're born, you're dying? Really great line. Just by looking through your eyes, he could see the future penetrating right in through your mind. See the truth and see the lies. But for all his power, and here it comes, guys, he couldn't foresee his own demise. Now, here's a question, which probably will be answered in the next song. I love that. Obviously, he could see the future so easily. He can see everyone else's future, but he couldn't see his own. At this point in the story, is he just questioning and saying, man, I can see everyone else's time, but I can't see mine? Or did he just die at this point? There's a time to live, but isn't it strange that as soon as you're born, you're dying and be reborn again? So he's asking. Now he doesn't know. Will he be reborn again? Is this whole seventh son prophecy, does this also lead into or take into account reincarnation, if that's a thing? Don't know. It says it's the 19th single and third from this album. Peaked at number 6 on the British charts. Can't hit that 7, can it? Just can't hit the 7 on this one. All right. Let's move on to the final track of the album. I hope that you guys have had a good time with the album. Hope you guys have had a good time watching the reaction. We're moving on to the final one. Only the Good Die Young. A little something.
Only the good die young. All the evil
It ends the same way it began. Ladies and gentlemen, seventh son of a seventh son. We finished the album. Hope you enjoyed it. What did you think of the final track? I really enjoyed how they kind of got back to like what I think is like their traditional sound, like the fast gallop, the heaviness. Bruce gets into not only the epic vocals, but now he's snarling and gnarling again, twisting in there. We got a little bit of a bass solo from Harris, just like this much. Like it was just a little thing. Now, I wish not necessarily that the bass solo was longer, even though of course I do. But I actually wish, such a small, stupid complaint. I wish that the guitars were just a little bit lower in the mix so I could hear the bass a little bit more clearly, because I really enjoy how he plays the bass in there, but it's a small thing. Otherwise, this is a nice send-off for the album and a great conclusion, ending in an epic nature. Of course, like I said, a return to the beginning of the original track, or the first track, I should say, rather, and the lines that were spoken there. I like the little bit of laughter that Bruce adds in there, like you like the seventh son couldn't quite escape his fate or something. I don't know. We'll have to kind of get into the lyrics. I'm not sure exactly what happened in here, but we'll dive into it. But yeah, otherwise, this has all the makings of a great Iron Maiden track and concludes in a great way. I don't personally think that there's anything else outstanding on this one, such as the title track or my second favorite song, which would be Infinite Dreams. But I think that it's a really nice way to end the album. Got everything you want out of it. The demon in your mind will rape you in your bed tonight. The wisdom of ages, the lies and outrages concealed. Like you're in your mind, like the seventh son, like his gift is a curse, basically. Like that's his demon, basically. Time, it waits for no man. My future, it is revealed. My fate is sealed. So could he see his future now? If I cancel tomorrow, the undead will thank me today. Fly in the face of your prophets, I mock your morality plays. Like, is he being manipulated by the forces of good and evil, God, the devil, whatever? They're all trying to manipulate him to do their bidding. But at the end of the day, he's like, I don't want to do any of that. I want to just like do my own thing, basically. The moon is red and bleeding. The sun is burned and black. The book of life is silent, no turning back. Only the good die young. All the evil seem to live forever. Which calls back to, I can't remember which song now, but one of the previous tracks that said, why do the good die young, basically. Something of that nature. Mystery madman, a victim of cruel charade. Some innocent pawn in the endgame, one more stalemate. Like, I think the seventh son is that innocent pawn being used, like I said, to further others' agendas. And now they're at another stalemate because I think the seventh son is kind of going to do his own thing. Is death another birthday? A way to kiss your dreams goodbye? Do the undead live within us and look through our eyes? Walking on water are miracles all you can trust. Measure your coffin. Does it measure up to your lust? So I think I'll leave you with your bishops and your guilt. So until next time, have a good sin. I like how instead of like have a good night or whatever, he's like have a good sin. I think he's just leaving. I think that he's becoming unhappy with the direction that his life has taken, mainly because it's being directed by others. The gift of prophecy and second sight is a little bit overrated. He's like, this is a curse more than a gift. And I'm out of here, guys. I think he's basically like saying like,
No, thanks.
I don't want it.
No, thanks.
I'm out.
Yeah, no, thanks.
I think he's just like done with it. He doesn't want anything to do with it. And then it repeats, of course, at the end, 7 deadly sins, 7 ways to win, 7 holy paths to hell, 7 downward slopes, 7 bloodied hopes, 7 are your burning fires, 7 your desires. I mean, I guess there are many ways to win, right? Like, out of all this, like, okay, this seventh son, he was prophesied to do this, do that. But is it basically saying there's a 1 in 7 chance that he could actually do it because there's 7 different ways he could have gone in the first place? Like they say, infinite dream is prophecy within prophecy, within prophecy, within prophecy, within prophecy, over and over and over again. But what I can say is that this was a fun album to listen to. I really hope that you guys enjoyed spending some time with me here for probably about an hour and a half or however long it's been. Thank you so much for being here, for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. My favorite tracks, very, very easily the title track and then Infinite Dreams, as I mentioned before. Least favorite track should be obvious, but that would be Can I Play With Madness? I don't think that it hits the same standard as the rest of the album, but otherwise, fun one to listen to. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, before we leave, if you stuck around to this point in the video, press the like button if you haven't already. If you'd like to support what I do on Patreon, little as $2 a month, you don't have to, but it goes a long way. Check out my gaming channel. Go do it. Helps a lot. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend if you're watching on the weekend. That's it. Bye, guys.